Welcome back. We are here for The Between Secrets in Lavender, episode 8. We are unfortunately without our fox again for this session, so Jai, I guess, is still playing in the muck, really enjoying herself. So we'll hopefully see Jazzy for next session. But we will be starting off the day phase with something slightly new. I say slightly because we were sort of introduced to it last time. I think what we enter into is, after all the shenanigans of last night, I think down the street, before the hunters come home from their night's adventures, I think we see rolling down the street a clattering iron carriage. And it comes upon the home of one Ms. Pemberton-Potts. And three shadows loom at her doorstep, looking upon her beautiful wreath, and knock the door. And Maglasang, will solemnly answer the door, and the taller shadow will speak and say, "Good morning. Is the mistress of the house at home?" Maglasang will not speak, but he will bow and he will gesture for them to enter in as a voice comes from within and says, "Maglasang, who's coming to call?" And the three shadows enter in for this morning's tea. Later on that morning, where do we see the hunters? I'm assuming by this point, you've all made it home. What are you guys doing in the morning at Hargrave House?
Coffee's a definite. Probably more sugar in it than usual.
Coffee does sound good. Last night was we talked to some mist, right? And had that very weird vision. No, I need a bath. They're still yeah. Okay.
Oh, I bathed before I came down. Yeah, but
Again.
yeah.
Yeah, speaking of which, that reminds me, actually. Let's take a little look-see here.
Conditions.
Yeah, I think I owe people some conditions here. At the very least, it's like Mordecai, I believe you rolled a 9 on one of your things.
I trust you on this. That was 2 weeks ago. I rolled a lot of things since then.
Yeah. Yeah, so I have that down. But at the very least, it's like, how do you feel having talked to the vampire cloud, blood cloud, and gotten that information? And again, you were, finding out a bit of deep history because I mean, like, seeing the runic clay tablets, speaking, like, hearing the Sumerian, that was probably a blast from the past. My goodness.
Yeah. I think I feel frustrated because I don't speak Sumerian. Somebody told me that Akkadian was more useful. So I'm frustrated and a little angry at myself because I never took up the study of Sumerian. Why would I do that? That is a failure on my part, I feel. Yes. So.
And I think you're still, excuse my language, but I think you're still frustrated. Like, you're gonna take that as a condition because even when you went to the Georgian Dragon, it's like you still had to muddle through that long, boring conversation in the Turkish bath with the boring guy.
Yes, I am frustrated. That is true. therefore, before coming down, I will rearrange my quarters. I have been made aware that they seem to be untidy, and I cannot have that. So I will just, just not rearrange this all a little bit. That won't help the frustration, but maybe I'll feel a little better having rearranged my books and the whole flacons and the laboratory. And what am I doing with this pressed camellia? I'm putting it up here. No, that's wrong. I got to put it up here. Yes. Yeah. So yeah. Yes. Oh.
Even
And
though
then
go ahead.
I might entertain my. Yeah, I think I will entertain my spirits for a little while here, because that kind of gives me at least a little relief from this world, human peoples, all that kind of thing.
Got it.
Just,
Okay.
get on with one a little.
How do you I mean, and it doesn't have to be like, like fully on or whatever, but I mean, like, I question, I mean, like, do you entertain them with conversation? Do you entertain them with,
No.
like,
No.
physical amusement? I mean, or do you, like, you just kind of like, all right, we're going away.
I open myself up to them, let them all
Cavort.
the way in cavort, like just for a moment, because usually I don't connect with them very much, because I need to keep myself into the human, but I'm not entirely, I think, human. So I think I'm letting myself be that for a bit, like letting that overtake me, just riding that high of being other.
What does Nora hear outside of your door when this happens? What do you think she hears?
I think she hears a weird singing, almost keening, but a deep keening from that room that comes with variations, and at sometimes you will feel it in her stomach because it shifts to the subsonic. She opens the door. Mordecai will be standing there, probably not very dressed at that moment, covered in a weird kind of sweat, and just head thrown back and just making that noise. I hope she doesn't open the door, but if she does, well,
I think if anybody comes down the hall at that moment, I think she's just kind of like, she has a look on her face of like, I don't know what to make of this. Does anybody come down the hall at that moment? That's my question.
Yeah, sure. Fresh from the bath, wearing a silk robe, just hair wrapped up in a towel. What is that unworldly sound?
It's Mr. Laurence. Communing, I think. I think that's how it's described.
Is that what they're calling it these days?
I suppose. This
Well,
might be something I learned. This might be something I just deal with, I suppose. Are you familiar with this?
It used to being called possession, and it's usually not something that the person opts in for. Or an incarnation of some kind.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. Maybe,
But you want to learn this? Why ever would you want to?
Well, I have some experience with it. Maybe it's a controlled environment. It would be good to know. So this way, it doesn't completely overtake me.
Yes, you too could make loud noises that obstruct everyone else who lives here. At
You've
your own
never done
leisure.
that, Felix.
I think she starts to blush a little bit, like when you start saying that.
Felix is walking in.
Oh, what? No.
Wave my hand in front of. Hello, Mordecai.
Well,
I really tried, Mr. Laurence. I'm so sorry.
I think he will come back to himself a bit.
So sorry.
Felix, have you?
Is this your
It is-
first time with followers, worshippers, clingers on?
These are not followers or worshippers, and you do not understand.
I'm talking about her.
Oh, okay. Would you please leave, Felix? This is not appropriate.
You're the one who's making a mess of things here.
This is my private apartment. I'm free to make a mess of all kinds of things I want to in here.
Mr. Ocasio, please.
I have never criticized you making a mess of anything.
Oh, this again. Yes, your mess has order. He's going to
No.
shift one of the things on the shelf just a little bit out of the way. I need to
Mr.
go and
Ocasio.
attend to my own mess.
Thank you. And Mordecai looks towards Nora and says,
I'm so
I
sorry.
should. It's not your fault. I should have locked my door. I knew this might happen. Well, I hope you are not too discombobulated by what you just saw.
I'm more upset at myself that I couldn't stop him from barging in. I'm so sorry.
Oh, Nora, nobody can stop Felix when he is in the mood. Do not blame yourself for that.
I will leave you to your communing.
No, it's pretty much interrupted now. I will go and take a bath. Judging from Felix's appearances, the bathroom should be empty.
I believe there's more than one. So, would you like me to draw it for you, or are you all right for yourself?
I am all right for myself. Thank you, Nora. That is not one of your duties.
Understood. I will go to the garden and then tend to the plants.
Yes, do that, Nora. Thank you for your kindness.
You're very welcome. And then she'll bow a little and then take her leave of you.
Yeah. And Mordecai will go to the bath and wash up the weird gunk that come sweat it out, and then get dressed, take care of his hair, and then come down to the kitchen.
Absolutely. So,
I love the fact that we have made this wonderfully comfortable parlor. We all hang out in the kitchen for some reason.
It's gathering dust. It's only for when someone calls on us.
And even then, not even when you have somebody call on you, you bring them into the kitchen. Jesus.
Who do we have to impress? We're Hargrave House.
Apparently no one. Apparently no one. Not even like a really high-end guest. Okay, great. So it's fine. Anyway. Do we call that a scene? If not, then you can have a separate scene later. I don't care. I mean, are you considering yourself more frustrated?
I mean, not more frustrated, but
do you want a separate scene with Ellie later? I mean, it's fine.
Maybe, because that was not a vulnerable move.
No.
That was me having being intimate with my dark entities.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, oh yeah, look at your dawn questions. I keep forgetting to remind you guys, but yeah, please look at your dawn questions, see what you want to enact during the cycle, and then just try to hit your marks like before the cycle is over. Okay, so Ellie, I think you hear this altercation upstairs. Where are you?
I'm in the kitchen. I'm drinking coffee. Usually I'm not much of a breakfast person, but I think I'm contemplating some toast this morning, just, a little something. And still thinking a lot about last night.
You'll be playing with the toasting fork, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Nora will pass you on her way out with her hat and her gardening stuff and everything.
I'll just nod, not try to engage her in conversation, just.
Yeah. I think she's already like dealing with enough in her head, like processing what happened upstairs. So she'll
Yeah.
nod back and then
I
like
I
head
don't
right
know what
out.
all that's about. I don't really want
No,
to.
no, yeah, she'll head right out. But yeah, I mean, who comes down first? I'm assuming like Mordecai has gone to the bathroom to to take a
Felix.
bath. Okay.
Yeah,
So
Felix is already
wait,
bathed.
wait. Like, how is Felix dressed? Is he still in his silk robe and shit, or has he dressed?
He's dressed. I mean, they're like perfectly tailored trousers, the peasant shirt, not like for going out.
But decent to be seen.
Yeah. You don't get a free show.
Oh
Not angling for one, trust me.
Thank goodness. But there's toast, there's coffee, there's food.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Felix will sit down.
So what was that?
You didn't hear it down here.
I heard it, I just don't know what it was.
And you were okay? We live in Hargrave House.
I heard your voice too, I assumed you were dealing with it.
Listen, if we ever have to deal with monsters, the most that I'm going to do is try and talk them down.
You didn't scream.
Fair point. That was being done by Mordecai. Dark energies and conjurations and scaring his follower. Goodness sake. What about you? What were your investigations like the other night?
Constable Lansing got attacked.
Oh. Did Scotland Yard inform you, or?
No, I happened to be present at the time.
Ah. Well, very fortunate for him, I suppose, then. Must have been horrifying the way that you're acting.
No. I mean, not really a fan of seeing something try to claw its way out of somebody's chest, and I've seen it twice now, so.
Yes, but you weren't this shaken up when it happened to me.
You handled it. You didn't need help.
Right. Felix is picking up on something.
Yeah. Ellie is trying not to show and failing. Because it's infinitely less interesting if other residents of Hargrave House don't know something's going on there.
Why don't we play a game?
Oh, Lord.
I have a pair of dice. I grab a cup from the cabinet or whatever. Simple. You roll higher than I do. I will answer any question you want, give you whatever you need for your investigations. But if I roll higher, you must do the same for me. Play a game just to get things off your mind.
Oh, what the hell? Why not?
Okay. So, I'll roll some dice. Just 3 dice.
So.
And I get 4, a 2, and a 6.
Okay. I guess I will, do it. Come on.
And,
Same total, interestingly.
a 12. Well, I suppose the only thing to do now is fair is fair. Why don't you ask me a question, Ellie, so we can get to know each other more?
Let's see. You know where I'm from, at least in a general sense.
Felix will grab your toast and nod, yes.
You're not English, I'm sure of that.
No.
Where are you from?
I was born on a mountaintop, blessed by the gods. And one day I got bored with that, and I came down the mountains and frolicked among the people for a bit in Italy. I became a bandit lord, and I reigned over empires. And then eventually I came to London because a city burned down. Or I could just say that I'm Italian with a last name like Ocasio. Or Greek even. Take your pick.
Right. Don't know why I asked, honestly.
Well then. Ellie, what makes you beautiful?
Now that's a question I wasn't expecting.
Everybody has something that makes them beautiful, something that makes waking up worth it, something that drives them on, something that they'll fight for. I haven't quite pieced you together. You're very prim, very, not necessarily proper, but respectable at least.
Those are not words I
There's
ever
the
expected.
smile. For goodness sake, you've been nervous.
Oh,
But in actuality, what does make you beautiful?
I forged my own way.
Hmm.
The expectations that were laid on me didn't fit. And a lot of people have had a lot of different expectations of me since then.
Hmm.
And I'm not interested in being the good daughter or what have you.
Hmm.
I'm me.
Independence.
Mhm.
Very appropriate from what I've heard of that other country.
Yeah, you'd think. People talk a lot about it. But depending on where you are, it is not valued like the propaganda would have you believe.
Hmm. Well, then Felix will pour a cup of coffee for you and slide it over. I consider that a good result to the game.
Yeah, you learned something about me, and I learned basically nothing about you.
Oh, don't sell yourself short. I was honest.
Yeah.
And then is this when Mordecai walks in, or?
Yeah, I think so. He's dressed like properly again.
Hmm.
Good morning.
Morning.
Lots of-
It is morning.
Yes, indeed. I have noticed. Thank you for informing me.
Mads, did we? I kind of want to say that with Ellie, I was able to have a vulnerable move, my vice.
Okay.
Um,
Pardon.
so
So let's take a look. All right. So, and you obviously cannot clear most beloved. Absolutely not. But what do you think you're clearing, Ellie? Drained, or is this a date?
Drained because I'm still not sure. There's too many question marks in my mind about last night still,
Okay.
but
All right.
I'm feeling more,
Okay.
more,
vivacious, more
yeah,
alive.
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Cool. That's fine. All right. So you guys would come up with a clue for one of the current threats, or, you could even pass it off to the new threat, which, hold on, let me put that in there. I don't know why I didn't, but I should have. Because it's not a secret.
Yeah.
What? Oh, right. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll reveal it in a minute.
Yeah, I gotta run off real quick. I think I have a pigeon where it's not supposed to sit. Be back.
Yep. But continue talking. So basically, yeah, it's going to be introduced in a few minutes. But yeah, it's going to be the coven, and like it's going to be officially introduced. But you guys will have the opportunity to add a clue, of your own making, to the one of the threats currently on the board. All right, and then figure out what you want to do for it. Let me see.
We could apply it to Limehouse Lurker since that one's almost done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we both were dealing with it last night.
Yeah.
So
And it attacked in the same fashion as before, so maybe the clue is like...
Yeah. So adding that new clue would give you 6 to apply to that last question.
Yeah, we could probably answer the question for that threat.
Yeah. So if you want to do that, you would answer the question during dusk phase. But you could continue investigations, but we'll go over that after you guys decide what you want to do. All right. So
maybe we sit down and we come up with a map of attack locations, and looking over it we see that there's a zone of where something might be. So
that could be fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds good.
Okay. Go for it. All right. So that will be your added clue for Limehouse Lurker. So just to review, yeah, you have Limehouse Lurker with now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clues on the board for that. Miasma of Miswell Hill, which you have... Brain does not want to show me. Nothing. You have no clues left to use towards its resolution, which the question is, if human in origin, what dastardly scheme is behind the emission of the miasma? Complexity 6. Okay, you're going to resolve the threat by seeing Miswell Hill from sorry, it's PDF translates some of these things into weird punctuation, so I have no idea how that resolution works. But anyway, yeah. Hold on. Yeah, here we go. By befriending, if human in origin, resolving the threat by freeing Miswell Hill from the miasma and the influence of the forces behind it. If the threat is eliminated, the hunters will gain a lab notebook explaining the source and nature of the miasma as a reward. All right, so just keep that in mind for when you're trying to gather clues and then resolving the threat of the miasma. Okay, complexity 6. And then for the new one, I'll give you that in a second. But just keep in mind, you still have threat masks available for each of the threats. So Limehouse Lurker is the Mask of the Sun. Miasma of Miswell Hill is Mask of River's Rage. Okay? I think when Mordecai, you maybe you don't quite enter into the kitchen just yet. I think this is where you hear, and again, I still have not gotten the goddamn sound. Ding 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 at the front door.
Fine. I will answer the front door. We should have a butler. We really should. Or at least
subject a butler to this place, sure.
Well, yes, well, okay, fine. I will answer the door.
Okay. I think when you go to answer the door, you will see, first off, you will see a beautiful bouquet of flowers first. Because you said you were relatively tall, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You will see like a beautiful bouquet of flowers first because Miss Pemberton-Potts is tiny. You know,
Yes.
she's the same size as Jai. So yeah, I mean, like she's holding up this beautiful bouquet of begonias and ferns, and she's saying,
Oh, Mr. Laurence, how wonderful to see you. Um, just wanted to bring over this bouquet that I had put together.
and you see behind her, as a matter of fact, in the front part of Hargrave House, like off to the side, behind her, as she's presenting, you see Maglasang, and Maglasang has approached Nora, who is like working on like tending to some of the garden plants in the front, but Maglasang is looking really interested in her. Just so you know.
Remind me who that was, please.
Maglasang is he's a sort of tallish fellow. He was the one who drove the coach for
Oh,
the
yes.
cab
Okay.
for
Okay.
Miss
Okay.
Pemberton-Potts, like a
Ah.
tall, dark, like handsome,
Okay.
dark-haired fellow.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
one of her wards, basically.
Do,
Yeah.
do we have him noted somewhere on the keyboard?
But I may not have because I mean, like he was just kind of like in passing when she
Okay.
picked you up in that cab that one time.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
but I could put that in there somewhere, like in the
Maybe we can have that in side
records.
characters or something.
Records. Yeah, here we go. Like just I put him in under
Okay.
records.
Oh, record. Okay. Thank
I'll
you.
add more description
Oh, yeah.
to them. Yeah,
Okay. That's
later.
fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Just wondering what. Okay. Interesting name.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway. Okay. Well, I will notice this, but obviously I can't just rush off.
Yep.
And also, I think Laura can take care of herself at least a little. Anyway, I will say, Miss Pemberton-Potts, what a pleasure to encounter you. Please come in.
Oh, yes, thank you so much. I actually have some news that might be of interest to Hargrave House, if that's all right.
Oh, that is fantastic. Please follow me to our kitchen, which doubles as our salon.
I'm so happy to be welcomed yet again.
You are very welcome in this house, Miss Pemberton-Potts.
And I am also pleased to note that you are better dressed than the first time I met you.
Yes, I apologize for that again. I was not expecting a guest in the kitchen, but I have been made aware that this is where we of Hargrave House entertain our visitors.
It's actually very novel. I'm so used to being entertained in the stuffy, decorative areas of the home that it doesn't feel very welcoming, actually. This feels as if I am part of the gang. It's quite interesting.
Yes, yes, it is. I will usher her into the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm assuming Felix and Ellie are still there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We and announce this whole thing. I will make a little small talk so that they can hear that we are coming. I don't know what they're doing presently, but you never know with Felix in the picture.
Basically, she's going to cradle her bouquet and saying, it's like,
Oh, I will take the bouquet. I will take the bouquet.
Thank you so much.
She doesn't have to carry this large pot.
It doesn't have it. Your vivacious friend. She's not here to put these in a cup again, is she?
I'm afraid not, but I'm pretty sure we do not have cups that will fit this lovely bouquet.
This needs a little bit more room to breathe.
Indeed.
Yes.
We will find the proper place, Miss Pemberton-Potts.
Greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Do not worry.
All right, wonderful. Oh, wonderful to see you all again. Miss Fletcher and Mr. Ocasio, I believe. Yes.
Yes, of course, Miss Pemberton-Potts. Lovely
Good
to see
morning.
you.
Lovely to see you as well. I won't be long. Madelancholy's waiting for me outside. I just wanted to let you know, I've had a strange visit from a group calling themselves the Fellowship of Dreamers. And while this would not be anything of note normally, I do find a group of fortune tellers and mediums making house calls a unique circumstance, as I'm sure you would understand.
Huh.
Yes.
Can't say I've run across him before.
No,
And then her gaze like wanders over to you, Mordecai.
and they mentioned looking for someone of a particular name, from their number lost to them, and
Like her gaze like kind of ventures over to Mordecai, like, you know, like surreptitiously, but then like kind of wanders back to the rest of you. And then you know, she just kind of mentions it, and she will say,
yes, they were in town to try and find this person, but they are also, again, wandering about and trying to, again, drum up some business as far as I'm given to understand. They have visited several prominent members of society already, performing seances, doing tarot card readings at the at several fetes. And again, this group doing these specific things for these different households is out of the ordinary. I find it suspicious. And seeing as you did such a wonderful job for my friend, Mother Mallory, I wanted to bring it to your attention. Could you look into this?
You want us to investigate a group of circus performers who knocked on your door and are visiting other wealthy people.
Mordecai,
Yes.
when she mentions the Fellowship of Dreamers, you know that this is a ruse. This is an alias that the devout order of Saint Sylvester has used before.
Oh, and in which case, as the mention of that name, Mordecai has been wrestling the begonia flowers and will slightly lose control of that. And it will fall over. He'll catch it.
Are you all right?
I apologize. I am a little clumsy this morning. Yes.
Trading glances with Felix, like, that's out of character, but not gonna say
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Not something to talk about in front of the old lady.
Mm-hmm.
I know of some of the people that they have visited already, and I can give you their addresses if you are going to look into them.
And then she gives another surreptitious glance over at Mordecai.
And who will at that point say, what was the name of the person they were looking for?
Yes, they had asked me specifically if I had seen or heard of anyone known as what was it? Gabriel Jones.
Well, interesting. Thank you for bringing this to our attention, Miss Pemberton-Potts.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. I had written down the addresses of my acquaintances that they had visited before. Let me get it out of my reticule. Excuse me.
And then she like kind of like goes through her papers of like of this big like bag that she has, and then she just pulls out like a bunch of addresses, which I will put into the summary thing. And then she hands
Felix
it over
will-
to you. Yeah.
Yeah, Felix will make eye contact with Ellie, sort of like, hey, get the cards from her.
And so Mordecai, when you hear the name, the alias that they're using, Fellowship of Dreamers, You know that they are very close. They would only be in London if they are close to finishing their grand ritual.
Oh no.
What will this grand ritual do when complete? And why must Hargrave House put a stop to it?
I think this grand ritual that they are trying to do will give them like a location of everything that is monstrous in England. And we should put a stop to it because, first of all, I think we would pop up like hell. And also, I mean, no, just
Yep.
that might bring ruin to a lot of people.
Yep. Yeah. So you can totally talk about as much as you want to talk about. I mean, like I am an
Okay.
easygoing GM about it, but I mean,
Okay.
because this is a very unique situation with your involvement with the coven.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, yeah, we'll deal with it as it goes. But I will say that you don't, pardon, you obviously don't know where the coven is, and I'm going to put all this in the summary and stuff. But you know where they've been, and these households that I'm going to give you are the homes of several prominent members of society, where they were guests performing seances and tarot card readings at, for the homeowners, parties and stuff. So you can go visit them. The question that you have to answer is where and when will the final step of the grand ritual take place? It's a complexity 6. You're going to resolve the threat by stopping the ritual and or destroying the coven. And very importantly, you have 6 night phases. Otherwise, the coven completes their terrible ritual.
Oh no.
Oh, there's a timer.
There's a timer. I love these
Nice.
things.
Okay.
Okay.
So, but I mean, like, I'm just letting you know now because they're gonna like, since it's so early on, they're gonna kind of be a little bit more occluded than they normally would be if, like, because you saw it outright because of like where they came in your campaign when you were in it with the vessel, Mike, and as the legacy. But since they're so early on, it's like they're going to be a little bit more in the background for this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're going to be a little bit more hidden, but they're going to be doing a shit ton of more magic behind the scenes. Yeah. So Mordecai's going to be seeing a lot more dark shit happening.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I mean, oh no.
Love this shit. Okay, great. Anyway, so let me start putting some stuff into the summary, so this way you guys have the addresses, and then you can go visit accordingly. And then while I do that, start deciding whether you want to continue your investigations for Limehouse, Miswell Hill, or try to start investigating this new threat with the coven.
Did we want to give Mordecai an opportunity after we usher Miss?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's what I mean. Just try to figure out what you're doing. Yeah, figure out what you're doing because.
Yes.
Yeah. So we ushered the quiet, totally innocent little old lady out the door.
Yeah.
And we're there.
She's
in
been
the
so
kitchen.
helpful.
So, gosh, the fact that she always has her finger on the pulse of London, so convenient.
Oh, and then when you who let me have before you start, who ushers Miss Pemberton-Potts out, by the way?
Oh, Ellie, of course.
Yeah.
Ellie? Okay.
Yeah.
Ellie, I think when you do, escort Miss Pemberton-Potts out, I think she'll turn to you at the door and say,
It was wonderful seeing you all again. And when you do look into this, it's like, don't mind the badinage of the people that you'll see at these addresses. They are a little bit empty-headed. I'll just warn you right now. They're more concerned about their parties and entertaining than they are about any concerns of danger. Just so you know.
I know the type.
and then over her head, which is very easy to do considering your height, you'll see that Madelancholy, her ward, is still talking to Nora.
Hmm.
Just so you know. And he's looking very, very animated and smiling at her.
Hmm.
So just so you know.
Yeah. That girl is a magnet.
She's cute. I mean, she's
Yeah.
tiny too. Like I said, she looks like a ballerina.
Small.
But smilingly escort her out. The minute the door is closed, okay, what the hell?
Love that shit. Okay, go ahead. Okay, I'm gonna start putting shit into the thing while you guys talk.
Back to the kitchen.
Back to the kitchen.
So, Mordecai,
Yeah.
you seemed awfully concerned about these traveling circus performers. The Brotherhood of some such or other.
Dreams? Something?
The Dreamers.
Dreamers?
The Dreamers, yes.
Well, that is not their real name. I have encountered these before. They call themselves the Order of Saint Sylvester. They hunt monsters. They have a very broad definition of what monsters are.
Really?
Really, yes. They also use magic quite a bit. They are fairly competent, I hate to say.
And what exactly was the nature of your relationship with this group of magic-wielding monster hunters then, Mordecai?
That might not be permanent to what we do here.
No.
Just know that they will not find the person that they are looking for under this name.
Felix will look over at Ellie. Under that name.
Under that name, yes. It is, we had a very contentious relationship.
Ah.
They concluded that I was a monster in the end. We left on not very good terms, and I do not like that they are in London. I do not like that they are so close to so many fonts of knowledge that are hidden in some maybe empty-headed buffoons' closets and libraries, and that they might gain access to those. They, from what I know, will want to find everyone they consider a monster, which means everyone they consider to be not quite an ordinary human.
I see.
Yes.
Problem for all
Yeah,
of
indeed.
us.
Indeed. Yes.
Well, except for Jai. Jai.
I feel they might also be a problem for Jane.
Well then.
But she's not here so far.
Yeah, I haven't seen her for a bit.
No. Judging from these addresses, it looks like they're more interested in talking to the upper crust of society. They won't be digging around the miasma of the rookery.
Indeed.
Yeah. Miss Pemberton-Potts told me that the people they've been visiting are notably frivolous and empty-headed, which is an interesting set of choices. Although I suppose if they're trying to pass themselves off as mere fashionable fortune tellers, that would make sense. But it doesn't sound like that is advancing their goals.
I think they are looking for something or someone that they can use for whatever they are trying to do. Their ritual, I think, is what they are trying to achieve. That would give them an advantage, let's say, against everyone they consider a monster, which we should absolutely protect. And yes, that is very selfish of me to say, because they would probably want me dead at some point. But I think it would be also to your advantage to not deal with these people.
Got a vampire, a killer mist, and these characters.
Indeed. I mean, maybe we should just stick them at the vampire. They like hunting vampires.
Well,
but I would not. Looks at Felix. I would not know how to do that.
to plant enough evidence so that it to understand what you're implying, we figure out where the vampire is, and then we just kind of leak that to all the empty-headed people so that they go after the vampire.
Yes, and if we are very lucky, they will decimate each other.
Seems like a plan that can go wrong a number of ways.
Indeed. But us confronting the vampire might also go wrong in a number of things.
It does strike me as odd that you're willing to give up such a prime hunt so close to the end.
Yeah.
But what do I know? I have a list of addresses of very wealthy people who are empty-headed, vapid, and in desperate need of entertainment, apparently.
Yes.
Well, it sounds like your day's sorted. I don't know. I feel like this Limehouse thing has gone on long enough. And trying to maneuver other people into taking care of it, at best that's gonna spin out the time span. At best that's gonna give the vampire more opportunities.
Well, in that case, if you want to confront this thing, be my guest. I will also, of course, lend you assistance if you so require.
So are we gonna try and confront this thing during day phase, or?
No, that was just Ellie.
I still think that
rejecting the let them fight plan.
Okay. As much as I'd love to counter these people, I would also like to know who created the miasma.
You can investigate anything you want. You just have to tell me where you're going to go. So this way I know where to send you after break.
I feel that maybe leaving the empty-handed people to Felix is a perfect fit. And there's only so much empty-headedness Mordecai can take right now. So, I mean, he's already frustrated. That might not be a good mindset to go and talk to empty-headed people.
Sure, absolutely.
Yes, no.
I mean, you could try and try to do a vulnerable scene before heading out. I mean, we could totally do that after break.
Yes, maybe I can do that.
It's up to you. I mean, I'm willing to let you do it. You just have to tell me what you want to do and who to do it with.
That's a good question. I want to do it with everybody, but Mike, you were going to say something. Oh.
I was going to say it could be very stressful, but imagine how much fun it would be to punch down just for a minute.
I'm always punching down, Felix.
So true, you know?
So, I mean, I want to call a break, so this way everybody, everybody has one. But
I think I want to have a vulnerable scene with someone, maybe after having some friendly or not ribbing with Felix. I might want to have it with Ellie.
Okay. All right.
Sure.
So
Felix will go to change into proper wardrobe
Oh,
for
yes.
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 All right. So we're going to say that Felix, you're going to make the rounds to one of those addresses or whatever for for your day phase, and then Mordecai and Ellie are going to have a vulnerable scene after break, and then you're going to go out and investigate. Okay, cool.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and take a 10-minute. Oops, excuse me, burping. The 50 mark. So this way, just kind of keep it round. All right. So back at the 50 mark, and then we'll get started on the rest of day phase. All right. So see you then. Okay. Which address would Felix like to tackle first?
Do I have any additional information, or I just have these address locations?
These address locations, they're all equally empty-headed, I'm sure.
We will go to 6 Boscobel Place.
6 Boscobel Place, which is... Ah, interesting. It is the home of Mr. Reginald Baines, a socialite. Yes, okay.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. 6 Boscobel Place.
I put that in the location section of the thread.
Yes, exactly. There is a paint the scene, of course, as always. Okay. So we'll head there first before we figure out where you two want to be. Okay. So 6 Boscobel Place, a jungle's worth of plants, rich jeweled tones, neatly dressed servants. Paint the scene, please, for everyone. Mr. Baines. Taste in decor is decidedly homoerotic. How do you know this?
Lots of monoliths. Just everywhere. They're ostensibly to note very important events, but they're just all monoliths everywhere.
Sure.
Greek
the,
pot. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
Greek pottery. Lots of Greek pottery.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And there are also some of these little angels, cherubim, that look surprisingly adult, and also surprisingly, you don't see the front, of course. That's what one of them for. You see the back sides. Some of them have something covering it, but not all of them.
Okay. All right. Fair. Well, that's what you're greeted with, Felix. I mean, like, these neatly dressed servants are just, completely, neutral of expression, but I mean, you are immediately beset with the smell of these plants. I mean, not florals like Ms. Pemberton-Potts, of course, just more of like, greenery, verdancy.
It smells like a greenhouse.
Yes, absolutely. It's very decidedly alive in here, along with the pottery and the statuary and the monoliths. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will adjust my headdress and
please
knock on
please describe your unique dress.
Large silk headdress, silks all over. I think Felix broke into Mordecai's room, found a book on soothsaying and just any type of fortune teller, and he just took like a page from the book. And he looks like a caricature of this of what a fortune teller would be.
And this servant will kind of look you up and down and be approving, especially once gets a gander at your face, and we'll show you to an appropriate waiting room, and bids you to sit. And Mr. Reginald Baines comes in. It's a gentleman who is soft-spoken, walks with a cane. You hear the cane first. So decidedly, chip step. And he has what's known as an event mustache. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I'm assuming it's something resplendent.
A vent mustache?
That is how it's described. I'm
have to
quite
look this
puzzled
up now.
myself. I'm assuming it's something quite there. He's dressed properly, but I have a question for just you, Felix. Given the decor, what about his dress, his proper dress, kind of gives you the hint that he's willing to go a little bit farther if given the chance? What's a little bit off about his proper dress?
His proper dress has these very subtle buckles on the side. His pants. He has Victorian tearaway pants.
Interesting. Okay. Well, anyway, yes. You did not come calling with a card, and but I see your appearance is quite unique. To what, pray tell, do I owe the honor and pleasure of your visit, Mr.
Ocasio. Ocasio the Magnificent.
The magnificent Italian. Oh, I am Mr. Baines, but I'm assuming since you're here,
I
you
already knew that.
Yes. Again, to what do I owe the pleasure of your visit? And a very leering smile on this face behind the event mustache, I must say.
I was brought here by a premonition that you sought wisdom beyond that which you can see with your eyes.
Yes. I see much with my eyes, but sometimes I seek beyond. And he leans on, like, a little bit heavily on his cane. I seek a little bit beyond that, and I've heard that it must come sometimes through pleasure, to see beyond.
Pleasure is fleeting. And have you not seen that? Have you not surrounded yourself with beauty, with art, with the material, and don't you find it lacking?
It is where I always seem to seek more. I want more of it. Just to collect and seem to add to the collection and...
And when will it stop, Sir Baines?
I don't know. I sought some guidance from the Fellowship of Dreamers recently. They were so...
False prophets.
Really? They seemed so wise and so engaging.
Most charlatans present themselves as those who have wisdom, but Reginald, you must see past this.
How they were a wise group of three. How do you present yourself as being much more elevated than they?
Simple, Reginald. Whereas they were willing to accept you as you are, I am here to drive you to what you could be. They point you towards the past, and I point you towards tomorrow.
Ooh. All right, where do you want to go with this? This is this seems pretty.
I want to convince this guy that these people were taking him for a ride, so that he gives any information that he was giving them.
Okay.
And if they come back, he poisons their information. He denies them access and just acts as a stumbling block for them.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Information move with presence, because you're really trying to push your influence on him, but I'm
Mhm.
also going to put you at disadvantage because of the most beloved thing.
Then in that case, I think I will mark an item from the collection. I just gotta figure out which one. We'll mark off Cleopatra's Veil.
All right, so that's information move with presence, so that puts you in a straight roll.
Yep. I'm going to scar my reflection because I have to for
The collection.
for the collection.
Okay.
Um,
And tell me how the reflection is scarred, please.
uh,
And you were
the
making notes on this, right? Like, down below.
as in adding the item to my personal quarters and then marking it off, and also scarring my reflection.
Yeah, like you want to make notes somewhere down below in your notes section about like how each time, like when you scar your reflection, how it's scarred.
Okay. I don't think I have, given that this is my second scar.
Okay.
I'll have to add that.
Okay. Yeah.
Previously, we've seen that it is a vision of Felix, hands outstretched, various people in different like outfits trying to reach for what they desire. I think one of the people in the background of this painting, whereas normally everyone is kind of focused on reaching for this thing, we see somebody it starts like fighting someone else over this veil in the background. No longer is it people who are just accepting whatever comes to them. Now they're starting to contest violently for it.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Interesting. Okay. Cool. Okay.
And
Now you
it's
got to
a
roll.
flat roll now. Okay.
Yes. Flat roll with presence.
Okay. That's 2d6 plus 3. That is a 10.
Okay. All right. Let's see what your clue is for this. Okay. Interestingly enough, you get something immediately juicy from him. Not just their interest in my collections, of course. I mean, the past. But I mean, like, I have a font of knowledge, too. I mean, they seem to have spent an inordinate amount of time, of course, like, showing me about how much knowledge I possess as well. And they were even showing me how much I knew and collected about lighthouses. I have an extensive library in the back. That is your clue. The Coven spent a large amount of time in his library in blueprints of the lighthouses that he was collecting.
And
of course, it's like, of course, monoliths, But yeah.
Yeah, and I think Felix will spend the time listening to him go on about like I have big brain thoughts too sometimes, and he's be like, yes, of course you do, and that's why you're going to lie to them from now on and tell them useless information.
Yes. I mean, like, and like, where the connections are, like, you're leading his thoughts, basically. It's like, with the 10, you're like...
Yeah.
But the interesting part is the fact that all of his blueprints are of the lighthouses that they were looking at. So.
Okay.
Yeah. For sure. All right, let's go back to Ellie and Mordecai. Where did you decide to hold this move, by the way?
We're going for the miasma, right? Okay. So I think I would invite you to come accompany me to my quarters, since everybody's been hanging around there as well. Next time we will invite guests into my quarters. I should really get a key. That Mordecai is yeah, you can sense that they're a little, let's say, disturbed by those news, so they are a little more verbose than he usually is. So.
Yeah.
So, and then he will prepare. What did I write? I wrote something. Yes, because he's readying himself for the hunt for the miasma creator with creating some kind of, I think what we need here is something that will flush them out, something that will interact with the miasma to create an unwanted side effect so that he or she or they will come and see what's messing with their precious thing. We don't really know what they want yet, but I think we can ask them once we have them.
Does that make sense?
Yes, quite. Thank you. Yes.
Are you
So,
all right?
oh,
Ellie, no tact. Not today.
yes. I'm a little frustrated, actually, because someone told me not. And this might seem a triviality to you, and I recognize that this is probably a triviality to most people. Someone told me I should learn Akkadian instead of Sumerian, which was a bad idea. I should have learned Sumerian and Akkadian. No, don't. Sumerian is like nobody uses that. And that is patently untrue, and I never even caught up on it because I mean I knew that was not entirely truthful. I wonder why. Anyway, yes, so I am. And meeting the Order of Saint Sylvester is again, it's not quite pleasant. As I said, we did not part on good terms.
Well, at least we've made headway on the things we've already been dealing with, so maybe we can clear the decks a bit for dealing with this order.
Yes, that would be actually quite a good idea. Which is why I want to figure out what this miasma is about.
Sure.
Also talking to some society folks is not actually my forte. It depends on the society folks, actually. But
I could do it if I had to. Far
yes.
rather send Felix.
Yes, I think these are Felix's people.
People, victims, whatever.
Wow. Like calls to like, I would say.
There is one thing I wanted to talk to you about.
Oh, of course.
I understand that hunting is your recreation as well as your vocation.
Yes, it is.
I was wondering if I might be able to persuade you to back off a bit on one particular target.
Tell me more.
Constable Lansing.
Oh, but he's my favorite, actually.
Why is he your favorite?
He's emotionally invested.
Yeah, he is. He's trying to protect his neighborhood.
Hmm.
He's trying to protect people. He's not equipped to do it the way we protect people.
Mm-hmm.
But
and he's also in a position of authority. And I do not much like that. I might have had an encounter with him that did not go too politely, honestly, and well, there we are.
what'd you do?
It's neither here nor there. It was not it was nothing really. It was more like, you do not belong here, something like that, questioning what I was doing somewhere. And I took offense, and therefore I chose him as a victim. Why would you want me to back off?
Like I said, he's a good man.
There are
And
many
he's doing
good.
his best to help.
So you have had contact with him then?
Yeah. He got attacked last night by the
Oh,
vampire.
huh. Well, now you've given me a reason to go after the vampire. Well, if you want me to back off, then what would you give me for that?
I suppose what you would want for it would be a more interesting target.
That sounds fair, I guess.
Have you considered...
Please do not say Felix.
Oh, oh no.
No, that would be awful.
That would be a bad idea. But
Indeed.
I have noticed that there's someone who's showing an interest in Nora outside this house.
Okay.
Madelancholy.
Yes, I've seen.
He was talking to her a lot.
Do you think I'm jealous, Ellie?
I think you might want to know what his interest in the most vulnerable resident of Hargrave House is.
I assume he's acting on Miss Pemberton-Potts' direction, actually.
Maybe he's got his own agenda. We don't know much about this guy.
We don't know much about Miss Pemberton-Potts' words, in truth.
Mm-hmm. We just know that she's giving us cryptic, creepy messages, and we don't know if she expects us to decode them or not. And
well, I think she expects us to decode them.
I hope she does, because otherwise it's pretty insulting. But
I don't know if that's interesting enough, though. Let me think about that.
Okay. That's fair. I just want you to know that I would be unhappy to see Constable Lansing hurt.
Oh. Well. Yes, that would have been my intention. As I said, I will consider it. Okay. I've put some time and effort into this that I do not like to see things go to waste.
Mm.
However, I would not want you to be unhappy, Ellie.
Well, all I can ask is that you think about it.
Okay, I will. Oh, and if I decide to change my target, I expect you to be of assistance.
Oh, of course, of course.
Okay, very well. Mordecai does not say okay. Mordecai is not an American.
Yeah.
Mordecai says very well then.
Love that. Love that shit. Okay. Conditions. Frustrated? Okay.
No, this was very fun, I guess.
Okay.
So yeah,
Love it.
Mordecai is in vastly better mood.
Okay, great. All right. So take that off. And then Ellie?
I think that the conundrum of whether this was a date has been solved. Ellie has decided,
She has decided.
has realized that she cares.
Oh, damn.
Uh,
I'm so
and
sorry.
enough to confront a fellow hunter about it. So
Why do I keep doing this to you? I am so sorry. God dang.
don't apologize. It's great.
Every single campaign with you. I'm so sorry.
That is okay. Oh, this is not the punch in the heart of last time. So
Yet.
it may well be. It may well be eventually, but it's not the okay. Things are going well. Things are going well. Holy shit, that last time was.
We don't know yet. We don't know yet. I'm so sorry. I'll say it right now. I'm so sorry. Okay. Okay. It's all good. It's all good. All right. So, guys have taken care of that. Where are you headed now?
I'm headed to Limehouse. I'm going to go take a look at the bodies.
Okay.
Which is what I was going to do before I ran into Lansing last night.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And
Or
don't forget, I
yesterday,
mean,
rather.
like, Rory had tasked you with, like, will you please tell Jenny, it's like, release the
To
freaking
release
bodies.
Yeah.
Please, God. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, Mordecai, where are you headed?
I'm heading to whatever the name of the place was. Yes, my of Miswell. I'm headed back towards Miswell Hill. I will take some of my own concoctions and I'll try to see if we can find some markers or something. I will take Nora.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, like, you know, you can invest. You saw the gin bottle in your vision.
Yes.
So there's like a gin shop there,
Yeah,
there's some
that's
interesting shit in there.
That's a good start. We will go to the gin shop and maybe find something nice for Ellie.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. So there seems to be a little bit of tit for tat discussion like going on. So like what was that, Mordecai?
That was about the fact that Mordecai is warded against maybe the magical efforts of the coven, and then somebody said what bounces off Mordecai might bounce onto someone else. So I was thinking Mordecai might be thinking, better not be Ellie, but somebody was in his room and ripped out a page of one of his books. So it's only fair that he might go into someone's room and leave a little token or something. And also, I mean, things bounce off Felix really easily, so he should be fine.
Yeah, he bounces really easily. Sure, why not? Immortal, sure, why not? It's okay. Absolutely. Okay, sure. Speaking of which, actually, if you don't mind, I'm actually going to go backwards. So we're going to start with Ellie going to Limehouse, finally, to look at bodies and to talk to Jenny Johnston. Jesus. Yeah. So when you go over to Jenny's to go finally look at bodies, what do you say to Jenny?
I realize that we haven't been around much, but we have been working on this.
Business has been going as usual. I mean, I understand, but people have been scared.
Sure. And I'm hoping that we'll be putting a stop to the problem very soon. Maybe as soon as tonight.
Okay.
I did, though, want to talk to you. Had a chat with Rory Bell.
Oh. What did he say?
He wants her body. He wants to be able to bury her, and I completely understand. I also understand that there's a need for discretion.
If there was a way to...
Go ahead.
If there was a way to do it where it wasn't so obvious. There's 3 of them. How?
Well,
How am I supposed to... get rid of them and do so without Lansing getting in, noticing and too much attention.
I understand. I understand. I think there should be something we can do. But I would like to have a look at the bodies.
It's fine. My nephews have been putting them with in the cold cellar with ice, so
Good.
you can look at whatever's left. It will not be pretty, and it will not smell nice.
That's all right. I expect that. But thank you. And I promised him I would talk to you. I didn't promise him results, but I do think that if we can find a way to let him bury her without causing more problems, that it would be a kindness.
I would do it under cover of darkness, but cover of darkness is when it's the least safe.
Yes. Yeah. Well, as I said, I'm hoping that will not remain the case much longer.
I leave it to you, Miss Ellie. If you have a solution, please tell me. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, well.
And she gives you a lantern to go down. One of her nephews will accompany you as far down as the stairs, but then will indicate like the back cellar where the bodies have been put, to be away from everything else. So yeah, it's spelling pretty ripe. So
yeah. And I have a sensitive nose. Fortunately, not hypersensitive at the moment, but
yeah. I mean, you got a kerchief, like smell into it, or like breathe with your mouth open. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I probably have tied a kerchief around my face for what little good that does.
Yeah, pretty much. Right. So anyway, yeah, you see what's left of the bodies. The cellar's actually been pretty sealed tight, so it's not like there's been any vermin or anything like that have like kind of gotten at them. And it's been cool enough down here that like not much decay, but again, just they're gonna decay. So yeah. So you're gonna see what you're gonna see. Go ahead and roll information move if you think you can find anything.
Yeah, I think it's worth a shot.
With reason, please.
Double check. Of course, I'm the one doing this.
Unless you want to do composure or something that else makes sense, whatever you think you can parlay me. I'm pretty easy.
No, I think reason is the logical thing here. So. Ooh dear, that's a 6. Just an information move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna let that stand. Yeah. Don't know what I thought I'd find, but whatever might be here to find, I'm not the one to find it. So I suppose I'll devote my thoughts to figuring out how we can get corpse out of here without attracting.
Let me ask you something though before you head out of looking at the bodies. How do you look at the bodies, by the way?
Pull back whatever sheet or whatever is over them. Looking for bite marks. However, the blood seems to have been drained from them, since I presume that they are comparatively bloodless at this point.
Mm-hmm.
This may involve pulling some clothing aside, depending. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You're scaring me. Um,
Good. Because
but
as you pull some clothing aside, you start to see a little twitching underneath the skin.
okay.
Something starts to move. And it could be a trick of the light. I mean, like, the lamp light's pretty dim down here. It's like flickers. But then
Yeah.
a little bit of twitching, like as if the body starts to move. And it looks like the mouth on one of them is starting to look as if it's going to talk. Do you lean a little closer to see what it's going to say?
Be a damn fool thing to do, but yeah, why not? I'm trying to get a better look and determine whether this is just a trick of the light. It's a terrible idea. I'm gonna do it anyway.
For your sakes. The mouth begins to move on one of the bodies. And it's like stretches and moves, and like the jaw begins to open, and out of the jaw comes a face. It's a rat's face, wriggles out and like leaps over at you as another one follows, and yet another one, until it's a small crowd of rats that comes leaping out of the body, and they start scurrying away out of the cellar. But yes, for your sakes and for your trouble, some vermin have made their way out of the body and have hopefully given you a decent scare. And this is not natural, by the way. This is for the fact that you have been identified as being part of Hargrave House, and the coven is making itself known.
Okay. Well, I am going to beat a reasonably hasty retreat from the cellar. If there is any kind of lock or anything on the door, I am locking it. If there is not, yeah, I am going to head up the stairs very quickly and
As you're
say,
leaving, the cellar, you hear a whisper or like some kind of groan or moan behind you, and says something that sounds like, "Tell Gabriel we say hello."
interesting. Okay. Well, shit, nobody should go down that cellar for a bit. Forget releasing the body. Nobody should go near those bodies until we've got this sorted out.
Okay. As that's happened, you are with
Yes.
Nora,
Yes.
going to the gin shop. The gin
What's Nora's last name?
Oh God. You're asking me to
Yeah.
go back. Okay, sorry. I know
Because
I had one.
Mordecai would not address her as Nora.
Oh, sure.
I think it's kind of. Is it still in the threat section?
It is in the threat. Nora Allenton.
Allenton.
Yep.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Cool. So yeah, Miss Allenton. Yes, I will explain while we are going what my thinking is here, what I'm trying to do, and also that we will maybe head to a gin shop to investigate this bottle of gin that I saw in the vision. Does she know anything about gin?
No. I mean, she's she's mainly used like flowers more for like their medicinal uses out in the field. She's never actually made any tisanes or any kind of like tonics or whatever like herself. So like not much.
Okay. Well. Okay. Fine. Very well. He does not say okay. Very well. Well, nevertheless, we will go and inquire maybe if we can find this the maker or the people who would like this bottle. I will require maybe a little theater from you here, because I will have to explain my interest. And I might just say that someone had a bottle like this and that you wanted it and that I wanted to buy it now, but did not know what it was called.
Oh, certainly.
Oh, well, thank you. Oh, by the way, what did Mr. Madelancholy want with you? I saw that you were talking earlier.
Oh, yes. Madelancholy is someone who stays with Miss Pemberton-Potts, and
Yes.
he seems to be very knowledgeable about, well, the occult. Amazingly.
Oh, interesting.
He was pointing out to me some of the plants that are actually in Hargrave House's yard. I was actually surprised that that he knew some of these things, and he seemed interested in what I was doing.
Well, Miss Pemberton-Potts also has a great interest in flowers and the like, so it's not quite surprising that her ward would have some interest in them as well. Thank you for letting me know.
But he also seemed to be interested in me, if that's all right.
Oh, quite. As long as it does not interfere with your studies, I have no objection to this. I would advise you not to go too deeply into the things I teach you with him for the time being.
Oh, no, I wasn't planning on it, but it was interesting to see that he seemed fairly knowledgeable. So.
That is interesting indeed. As I said, not quite surprising. Well, anyhow, we are here now, and yes. If we do not find what we need here, we will leave, or we will do this now. We will leave these little bottles and stopper them just a little so that the fragrance will get out, but only slowly. It will, if my sorry, brain does not want to English right now. If my computations are correct, then it will react with miasma and create some sort of a little trap, maybe, for the creator. Will certainly be interested in what is interfering with their things. But yes, that is known as poking the hornet's nest. I would not recommend it to someone, to a novice.
Okay. Well, you meet Ada, a gin distiller. She looks up with glassy eyes, wrapping her graying lace shawl around her shoulders. It provides scant protection from the cold of her basement home. She's stirring a sharp-smelling mixture in a copper bathtub with a large wooden stick. And she's throwing a handful of herbs and flowers from her pocket into the tub. And she tells you that you can buy a small jug of her gin with a halfpenny. The gin is distilled in her bathtub, like I said, in a creaky wooden room that overhangs an alleyway. It's tainted by the miasma, and those who drink it will receive visions of a misshapen creature stalking the rookery. Paint the scene. When you stare into the gin, what signs of adulteration can you see?
Yeah, I think, let me check my miasma thingies here. Yes. Remember that prismatic rainbow sheen we saw?
Yeah.
We see it here as well.
Okay.
So this is the same gem that my vision showed me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Lovely.
What signs of adulteration can you see? Yeah, with tainted and additives. Yes, absolutely. She just threw herbs and flowers into it, so.
Yeah. Well, herbs and flowers belong in gin, if it's the right herbs and flowers. The cigar butts definitely should not be anywhere near gin.
There are empty glass bottles with misplaced labels strewn about. This is not a place where chemicals are mixed in any sort of order or cleanliness. We have no idea what's in this thing.
Right. Exactly.
I love it.
And she'll
So does
say,
Mordecai.
yeah, exactly. She'll even say, like, as you rock up, and she's telling you about the cost. She's saying, I collect me herbs under the moonlight. It shines deep underground for old man Maze, even though he can't see it anymore. Would you like some?
This is the gin that I had the vision of, right?
Yes.
I'm not asking her. I'm asking.
Yeah.
I would indeed like to purchase some of your fine liquor.
Just a halfpenny.
Yes, well, I will show her a good lot more money than the halfpenny and say, well, I am actually quite interested in your brewing procedures and none of this moonlight thing if it's not true.
Well, I mean, it's the herbs that's under the moonlight. I mean, obviously, not the gin itself, because I stir it right now in the daylight. But,
yes,
just,
who told you to use these herbs?
It's an old recipe. Something I had, like, in the family, of course. So, so it's in my head.
And she kind of like, knocks her temple like several times with a gnarled finger.
Now, have you shared this recipe with anyone?
No, I don't think so. I mean, maybe in my cups, but it's not like I remember that very much. So, but, yeah, I try not to share too much, It's got my own recipe. If anybody got their own recipe, then they should be using it. But
I will use my umbrella to just the tip of it, just fish out the cigar butt and say, does this belong? Is this part of your recipe as well?
Well, I mean, sometimes there's a little bit of flavor, and sometimes there's a bit of things that kind of just make it in there just for funsies. So, what can I say?
You can tell me who's been talking to you about the gin, and please don't. You can make this money, or you can keep telling me confabulations, which I would not appreciate.
Information move, please.
Yes.
With okay, so
presents probably.
Yeah,
right?
presents, because I mean, like, you're
Yes.
trying to get some.
Yeah, I'm threatening her.
Yeah,
That sounds like presents.
You're not being
I'm not being
reasonable.
super reasonable. No, no, not right now. I mean, I'm
Not right
talking to
now.
someone, okay?
Yeah.
It's an 8. It's fine.
Okay, hold on.
See, I can talk to people.
You can. Ooh, oh, this will be great for you. All right,
Okay.
lovely.
Love it. Love it already.
Yep. She tells you, it's like, she scratches her head again with her gnarled fingers as she keeps stirring, like unheeding of the fact that you just fished out like the cigar butts with your parasol. And she says, it's like,
well, it's like, now that you say something about it, I did remember talking to this one interesting fella, and he has, what is this? A lab. Yeah. And he gave me, oh, he showed me these.
And then like she'll stop stirring, and then she'll show you, like she'll go over to the side cabinet or a sideboard where she shows you a set of physician's tools and a notebook that she gleaned from him or stole from him. It's like,
I kind of nipped this one off of him, like when he wasn't looking. And it's like, it looked interesting, and maybe I was going to use some of this stuff, like, into my recipes, but it was all gibbledygook. Take a look and see if it makes any sense to you.
And
I will take a look.
And
Yes,
it's a notebook detailing unethical experiments on unwilling participants.
Oh, yes, obviously it does. I will take it and I will say, oh yes, this makes a great deal of sense actually to me.
That's good, because it didn't make any sense to me. I just kept on stirring my gin.
I'm not very surprised about that. Very well. I will purchase this gin and this book. And did he mention, or did this person mention where this lab was?
It's in the neighborhood, I know that. I don't remember the name per se.
I will hand her another coin.
Let's see, I think it was, you might want to see if you can ask around for a Dr. Charles.
Dr. Charles or Dr. Giles?
Charles.
Charles.
It's hard to wrap her, because she's partially drunk on her own fumes, okay? So
yes,
Charles. It's like she tries to say it, but it's Charles.
Okay, Charles. Dr. Charles.
Yeah, so you'll have to ask around later on.
Yes, we will do that. Thank you. That was very informative.
I hope it helps, because, yes, I mean, we get all sorts here. I mean, but that notebook didn't help me none.
No, I really, I'm actually quite glad it didn't.
Was it interesting?
It was very interesting, but it's also very, very dangerous.
Nora looks over your shoulders. My lord, what were they doing in this?
Yes, indeed. We'll find out. Thank you.
And Nora collects the gin bottles that you bought in a big bag.
We will need them to do experiments, which is always fun.
Enjoy the gin. At the very least, you'll be having one hell of a party.
Oh, wonderful.
All right. And finally, Felix, which other address would you like to take a look at before we...
Let's leave the Rutland Garden estate for last, and we'll go to 14 Brompton Road.
14 Brompton Road, you say? Oh, dear. Okay, so let's see. This seems to be a bright and airy place. Lots of family portraits, thick rugs. Mrs. Crawley, Tabitha Crawley, another socialite, of course. Goldenrod dress, rich brown curls, excessive blinking.
Oh, yes. I'm so delighted to have the Fellowship of Dreamers here. They were such a comfort when I was able to make contact with my deceased father during one of the seances. Ah, yes. So mysterious.
All right, how are we going to approach this one?
I feel so much more connected to the spiritual world now. Enlightened.
Paint the scene. Mrs. Crawley is a consummate entertainer. Looking around, how do you know this?
And Mrs. what Crowley?
Mrs. Crawley, yeah. She is
No first name?
Tabitha.
This is Tabitha Crowley. She's a consummate entertainer.
Correct.
The couches in her parlor are of fine make, but very well worn. Like, it's clear that there are grooves where people have sat in over and over and over again, and no amount of reupholstery is going to fix that.
The number of doilies to protect, not only to protect seat backs from hair oil and seat arms from the grime of hands, but every surface on which one could set down a drink or anything like that. Uh, Really, this room looks practically snowed on with little tatted doilies on every surface.
I think she has a liquor cabinet which has not only the common things that you would expect, like whiskey and wine and gin, but you have an assortment of odd-looking bottles that are not labeled, but they're very interesting looking, like they are in bright colors, or they have an interesting pattern on them. You just don't know what you're getting.
Nice.
And I think as the camera pans over to that liquor cabinet, we see Felix pouring himself a drink. He is in a different outfit. It seems like he may have raided Reginald's closet and just taken something that has sort of that put together but only just sort of air. And he says, but Mrs. Crowley, enlightened, what is that going to do for society? Are you going to go and take an oath to the church, perhaps?
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, I just felt like after entertaining everyone, I mean, just feeling like, well, being in touch with my father who had passed, just felt like I was being in touch with yet another aspect, another world. It was, again, so connected. It was nice.
Nice. And you're going to settle for nice?
Well, I mean,
It's very all well and good that you're doing something for yourself, Tabitha, but I mean, really, if you wanted to go and try to be connected to something different, then why not take a vacation? And he takes a sip.
A vacation,
Go abroad. Go see those distant horizons.
Well, I hadn't considered such a thing before. A holiday. It wouldn't be the same kind of experience, though. Yeah. Being physically away is quite different from being connected in a way to the spiritual sense, being elevated in a manner above oneself.
And Felix will look around at the tons of family portraits. And you really do want this, Tabitha? You want to be constantly looked down upon by those who have left you behind? You put so much work into society, into being a fixture of your community, Tabitha. And you give and you give. And all these people, they just die on you and leave you behind. And you still pay homage to them?
Oh, well, I mean, they...
Felix will put his hand on hers. There is something more, that they're not telling you because they want you to continue to call upon them, these dreamers. Tabitha, you could be so much more if you just reached out and engaged more with your community. You don't need to keep on reaching back and reach for the dead. You could reach out for the people who are here, who appreciate you, and those who don't know you even, but they could. Think of the work that you could do in the rookery. Think of the change that you can instantiate in the limehouses. Tabitha, people could be begging to see you.
Oh. That's true. I could do more in my community and be more present.
And they'll be whispering your name. They'll be asking after you. And perhaps you won't have to host so often. You are a consummate entertainer, but what if you were a guest star, a guest of honor, even?
That's true. I mean, people do need to, well, return the favor.
And aren't you do that after all? And he'll just lean back in his chair. I would like to get as much information as I can from her about what she was feeding them, and then hopefully she will be too busy socializing to have any time to deal with them.
Nice,
And
nice.
if it winds up that some extra money winds up going to the Limehouse and to the rookery and maybe finds its way to the Dog and Whistle, then, what a convenient thing that happens.
What a convenient thing, absolutely. Okay, so info move, please, with presence. Again, you're trying to influence her decisions. Sure.
Is Most Beloved kicking in here, or
yeah, because I mean, you're directly trying to go against the coven. So if it goes wrong, it's like they're gonna do soft and hard moves against you.
Then to make a normal move, I will mark off Morton Casing's wager, a favor from Lady Brookmead.
Okay.
Going to say that perhaps Lady Brookmead could act as an introduction to different circles of society.
I know Lady Brookmead. She's wonderful. She's so kind and so knowledgeable and so social. She just
has
seems
an
to know
ethereal
everyone.
air.
Yes, real air is indeed the way to describe her. Absolutely.
An 11.
Of course. Okay. Just for funsies, did you want to up that?
Don't tempt me with a good time. No, I'm gonna save these masks. I'm good.
Fine. Okay. Anyway, clue. All right. What she's been telling them, or what they've been telling her, right, or whatever. Okay. So
well, because they're asking her they're using her for a purpose. If we can figure that out, then that gives us an idea of like what they're planning.
Yep.
If they're telling her something, like that would be valuable too, just to know what their modus operandi is.
Yep. Yeah, I think as you're talking with her, she's she's walking around and she's kind of pacing and then she's kind of making plans and everything like this. And then she's like smiling at what you're saying and saying, yes, I can talk with Lady Brookmead and then I can make plans to go visit so-and-so and such and what have you. And then she will stop. And then she will, pick something up by one of the tables where she was entertaining them, maybe where they were sitting and doing their readings and whatever. And it's like, oh, how curious. And then she picks it up and it looks like it's one of their tarot cards. And it was kind of slipped underneath one of the tables. And she shows it to you. And it is the 9 of Swords.
And Felix will take that. Tabitha, you have no need for such petty pageantry from some travelers.
No. And It was a reading that they had actually done for me, as a matter of fact, and I don't even remember exactly what what it meant. It was something having to do with my father, and I guess I believe our relationship or what have you. A bit contentious, but I think we got there in the end, and it was fine. A little disturbing, but that was my father too.
Yes, but there's a certain beauty that's coming out now, Tabitha, in the way that you have the opportunity to engage with the world around you today. No more of this mundane, arcane nonsense. Put it out of your mind.
I'm feeling more hopeful about it. I think I can do more in my community. I don't need to bring people to me. I think I will follow what you said, and I think I will go out to them and see what I can do.
And be sure to call upon me should you ever find that there's a particular soiree that needs an extra bit of levity, bit of beauty, even.
Oh, and you are beautiful, I will say that, Mr. Ocasio. Oh, you grace my home. So wonderful.
I think we could probably just zoom out as Felix has done more quiet work that no one's really going to recognize. It's him whining and dining people.
Oh, absolutely. For sure. For sure. But I mean, like, you pretty much like, do that whole like Leonardo DiCaprio toasting her and all this kind of stuff. And,
Wearing like an
she's
ill-fitting
simpering.
suit that he stole, drinking someone else's alcohol.
Oh, absolutely. And she's just simpering and just being like, so hopeful, and it's like so cute. And we'll close out of that for
Day
for at
phase?
least this part of day phase. Yeah. I mean, we'll see if I'll give it an opportunity to see if we want to do a little bit more next time for day phase, right? To give Jai a chance to do some stuff for herself next time, and then we'll close out a day phase. Then, answer the question on dusk, and then hopefully you guys will be able to resolve Limehouse Lurker for next time, okay, at night phase, because we're gonna make that one like pretty punchy. But you did some good work tonight. All right, so that's the end of session, and let's go ahead and do some stars and wishes. Yeah. So you know how this works. Stars are things that you enjoyed about the session, gameplay, roleplay, each other. Wishes are things that you want to see in the future or next time. So, and whoever wants to start.
I appreciated one, seeing Mordecai just kind of really frustrated and trying to deal with that during this session, and a lot of things just kind of piling up, and just eventually saying, you know what, forget it, incarnate the dark being within me. And we kind of turned it into just like, my roommate is turning on the blender at 3 a.m. again, and that's really annoying. Just having that dynamic with Mordecai, especially now that Mordecai is going to go and mess around in Felix's room. I like this dynamic that's slowly building. But at the same time, there's this opportunity for Felix and Ellie to take care of Mordecai in this, like, yeah, there are bad people after Mordecai. Maybe we should probably help. I appreciated the emergent vulnerable scene with Ellie, in terms of like, the dice helped us out there, where we were both forced to be open and honest. Felix being more poetic with his honesty, but still. And then just Ellie being able to talk about like that drive to be independent and see more of that character. And just the genuine laughter of Felix being like, oh yeah, you're so prim and proper, and that you're just like, no. And then Mads, thank you for rolling with all of the absurdity, even before recording asking about custom moves, and then just during the session with Felix and his silly costumes being a silly, charismatic presence guy. And then Wish, hoping that Jai is able to make it to the next session so that I could have my Chaos Buddy back. And finally taking down the Limehouse Lurker.
Stars to all the vulnerable scenes. They were all fun. Special star to Ellie for going like, yeah, can you please not play with my boo? Maybe you could go with it for this guy that I just saw in the garden. Sure thing, Ellie. And I love the dynamic between Mordecai and Felix. I also love Felix being the life coach, basically, for these people who have been maybe duped by thrifters. That was, I mean, by duping him themselves, but I guess that's fine. Maybe, who knows? Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I also enjoy always Ellie being so matter of fact about things, right? That's like, okay, yes, things are like that, but I will always give a star to Nora being like, oh yes, I want to do this and I'm very curious about these things, but I don't know much, and yeah, but I really like that. Wishes. Oh, I would love to see for Mordecai and one of the coven to meet. Mordecai is currently trying to avoid that, but I don't think this will play out. So yeah. Yes. Oh, and the star to you, Matt, for bringing the covenant. That's just I love this. I love the whole them duping just people and pretending that they're fortune tellers. I really love that.
This was a terrific session all around on the interpersonal stuff. I feel like we're really getting to see the residents of Hargrave House as housemates, as people who don't just work together but share more of their lives than that. And even if that is not always an easy or comfortable or pleasant thing. Uh the vulnerable scenes were great fun. Um and yeah, Ellie has come to terms with, yes, I want to get to know this man. I want to find out his first name. I want to get to have something, you know, tender in my life. Which is going to go horribly, horribly wrong at some point. And yeah, it's interesting because I wasn't sure how that was going to play out. But it just made sense for her to be like, you know, no, I am going to stand up to my associate. I am going to say, leave this poor man alone, and probably betray much more of my feelings than I think I am. Um, I'm just being logical. You know, he's a good man. There's no reason to hunt him. No, go. That guy's messing with your apprentice. Go bug him. Uh, uh, but I also like the fact that we're getting the coven, and the very indirect kind of approach they seem to be taking to things, of playing these roles and duping prominent people, and it's interesting to see where that's going. And the rats were deeply creepy. The rats were very creepy, and I thank you for that, because interpersonal dynamics are all well and good, but we got to have the horror too. And I am looking forward to confronting Limehouse Lurker and taking it down. And oh, if the dice are kind enough to give me a good roll on the quickening, oh, that would be so great. That would be so great.
We can only hope, as usual, but who knows? Yeah, I mean, like, this was a really fun session, like, watching the vulnerable scenes slash, like, the little mayhem of people interrupting people and, like, trying to work around each other. And I always enjoy when there's a side character slash NPC that has a role but not really a role in Hargrave House, because I love playing them across all PCs. It's just wonderful. And like when Jai comes back and I have to bring in the complication of like, oh yeah, wait a second, it's like Jai, that's Jai's lover. So it's like whoops. Yeah, this should even be more complicated with Madelancholy in the mix. I love this shit. This will be great. Madelancholy's got his own stuff going on, so even more fun for me. I can't wait. And yeah, everybody did such a great job with their own things going on. I mean, I love the byplay between each of the PCs, like whether it be like Felix and Ellie, like, just the die were like really which dice was playing the field, like, making you two have the same role. So this way it's like, no, I'm going to even the playing field. I want them to be like on the same level, so this way it's like, speak to each other as equals. Do not fuck around and like, and try to be like one up each other. I want you to speak to each other as equals for once and like reveal what you're going to reveal, and it's great. And then the Ellie Mordecai vulnerable was really neat too, and I appreciated that. But just that whole like, well, what are you going to give me if I can't hunt who I set out to hunt? Love that shit. God dang, love it. Oh my god, so good. And then each of the investigations went really well today, which kind of sad about, except for the info move 6, which thank you for bringing in the horror, giving me the opportunity to use like a coven like hard move. So that was fun. Love that stuff. And yeah, I love how things can weave around each other when it comes to multiple threats in play. And that's what makes this game a lot of fun for me. Looking forward to giving you guys more conditions, like, with, more day phase coming up, and then definitely more night phase. I got to pick a new unseen and, do dusk phase. Like, I can't wait to see what your solution's going to be for the Limehouse Lurker, because, like, what are we working with now? We are at currently 6 clues that you can use to explain away a 4 complexity, and that doesn't even count any possible clues that you may want to still throw in for the remainder of day phase for next time if you do want to, continue onward. But I mean, my suggestion would be just to run with what you got, and then we can go just jump right into dusk phase and then answer the question and then get into a nice meaty night phase. But that's just my suggestion. Okay. But yeah, really nice session today. I really enjoyed myself, and looks like you guys did too. And we shall continue onward for next time. You guys have a wonderful week. Happy gaming to you all. And as soon as this thing converts, I'm gonna like just pop into the chat. Yeah. So again, happy gaming for you all for the week coming, and I will see you whenever next time is. Alrighty.
Yeah.
Take care, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thanks for running.
Bye.